Hello everyone, my name is Smurfy, and today I'm bringing you a quick guide on how to deal with massive raid damage. I'm using Tectus as an example from normal mode, Highmaul. Quick note, I did switch up my talents for this fight specifically. I took Cenarian Ward instead of Ysera's Gift for more tank healing, as well as Soul of the Forest for constant output, whereas Tree of Life you only have every 3 minutes. So I felt like Soul of the Forest would help with the constant AoE pressure that this fight brings. Also, I switched to Displacer Beast here at the last second for blinking when you have the Gift of Life that would kill your entire group. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about here is proactive healing versus reactive healing. So what I mean by this is there are two types of healers in World of Warcraft. The Druid happens to be a proactive healer because we have HOTS and we don't have massive single target heals. A Paladin would be a good example of a reactive healer. They're able to bring people from pretty much 10% back to full, but they don't have great AoE healing or overtime healing. That's where Druids excel. So, in order to be a good Druid healer, you have to know how to be a proactive healer, which there are a few tips I have on how to become a good proactive healer, as well as just some overview things about this fight specifically that might help you with other fights. So, first thing you need to do is learn the fight, obviously. What you need to do is know what the boss is doing, who he's going to hit, who's going to take damage, and when they're going to take damage. The first example here is Tectonic Upheaval. Tectonic Upheaval here does massive damage to the entire group, and what I did to counter that was Tranquility. Tranquility is a great cooldown for massive AoE healing during periods of high damage. The problem is it's on a 3-minute cooldown, and Tectonic Upheaval happens a lot more than every 3 minutes. So what you need to do is rotate your high healing cooldowns with other healers who have similar cooldowns. So you would be switching out, for example, if you have two Druid healers, one of them would tranquil the first Tectonic Upheaval, one would tranquil the second one, and hopefully you have a third, maybe Priest, who can him the third one. But if you don't, which you'll see this group didn't, you have to do things in other ways to deal with the constant output of heavy raid damage. So, in order to do that, for example on Tectus, he has this thing where he goes into Tectonic Upheaval whenever he reaches 100 energy. So the simple way you can know when that's happening is just watch his energy bar, watch the shard's energy bar, and when they're about to hit 100, start putting rejuvenations on everybody in the group, or at least as many people as you can. If you're in a 25-man, it'll be pretty hard to get everyone, but just as many people as you can and hope that your other healers can pick up the slack. Also, a good combo, if you're taking Soul of the Forest, which I recommend for this fight specifically, you can use a Swift Mend real quick on a tank or someone, and then Wild Growth. With Soul of the Forest, Wild Growth's effective healing is increased by 50%. Also, if you're not familiar with Soul of the Forest, I'll just say this real quick. After using Swift Mend, your healing touch cast time is reduced by 50%, or if you use Regrowth or Rejuvenation, their effective healing is increased by 100%, and like I said, Wild Growth is increased by 50%. Okay, so right there, I wanted to show you real quick that how useful Displacer Beast can be. I had Gift of Life on me, and I blinked to the other side of the raid so I wouldn't infect anybody with the Gift of Life. That's obviously deadly. Haha. Okay, so moving on my tips here. So Tranquility is a great cooldown. Proactively putting Rejuvenation on everybody is a great thing to do. You also have this Nature's Vigil talent, which is, I don't think a lot of people really understand how it works. It's basically, for as many rejuvenations as you have, you can be healing basically the whole group, because it will heal a nearby target for 30%. So as long as you have plenty of rejuvenations up, that's just way more healing going out if you pop Nature's Vigil at the same time. Also, for heavy raid damage, you have Iron Bark and Cenarian Ward cooldowns, which are usually going to be used on the tank, but if you notice someone standing in a Crystal Barrage that shouldn't be and you're quick about it, you can throw a quick Cenarian Ward on them, and that will mitigate some of the damage they're taking. Also, probably my number one tip, but no one ever wants to do this, is tell your group to stack up. It's that simple. If your group stacks, you can drop a Wild Mushroom and AoE heal everyone. But the problem is, and it's not necessarily everybody's fault, but this fight specifically, there's just so much movement going around. See, I'm even stuck over here because of the Crystalline Barrage. I can't get to the tanks. It's just, everybody's so messed up and everybody's going random places and it's hard to get everybody stacked. So you just need to be throwing those rejuvenations as much as you can to deal with that. Let's see. Moving on about, I guess I'll give a couple of tips about this fight in general. Definitely, I guess not about this fight in general, but definitely try out some different talents. We wiped about 10-15 times on this boss before we finally downed it. In that time I was able to switch up talents quite a bit, try out a few different things, and it turned out that this was the most preferred setup. But this setup is probably not the best for some other fights. I would say Displacer Beast is probably much better than Feline Swiftness in general, so don't listen to what I said in my first video. Sorry for the misinformation. It's still a good talent, but Displacer Beast is just so convenient for moving out of shit really quick. However, you know, Feline Swiftness, you can move fast, and if you're quick about it, you don't even need to blink. Some of us are just a little slow in the head. So, right here I want to point out that I'm basically out of mana, and we're pretty close to being done with the fight, but still need to have quite a bit of output. So the best thing you can do is just make sure your Life Bloom is up. It costs about 1,000 mana to put on a tank, and whenever it procs you can get a regrowth to just help out someone who's low in the group. That's just the best thing you can do, is make sure you have regrowth at all times. And then pay attention to your cooldowns whenever Tranquility is up for a tectonic upheaval. That's just great. However, that one we didn't really need it for because it died. Is that the end of the fight? No, that's the last mote. Okay. I don't even remember after so many wipes. So yeah, at this point it's pretty much GG. There's just 4 motes and a lot of gifts, but if you've made it this far and you haven't died to the barrage, you're probably gonna be fine and finish the fight pretty quick. So, quick recap before I cut the video is tips on how to heal proactively and deal with the tons of raid damage going out at a time. Number 1 is learn the fight, know when that's happening, and place your rejuvenation on targets about to take damage. If you have time to put 2 on everyone, that's great too. You know, with Germination, that's even more HPS. Oh, I didn't talk about, what is that talent? What is that thing called? Genesis. Okay. I don't use Genesis much, but when you have all those rejuvenations out and Let's say your group's about to die. That's great. Just pop it, and all the damage, all the healing done from that rejuvenation over time will be completed in about 2 seconds with Genesis. So that could be really, really great save if you're about to wipe on 1% or something. So have that handy. I don't use it much, but it can be useful in some situations. Once again, Swift Mend to Wild Growth is great for AoE healing if you have Soul of the Forest. If you take, I'll just give a quick overview of Incarnation. If you take our Incarnation, it does increase the healing of Wild Growth as well, but I think it's probably better to have Soul of the Forest in fights like this. As well as watch your cooldowns, rotate them with other healers, tell your group to stack, and pay attention to your tanks and use Iron Bark and Cenarian Ward when necessary. Alright, if you have any questions or want me to talk about something else I wasn't clear about, I'm sure I wasn't clear about something, I'm all over the place. I'm tired right now, sorry. But yeah, if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. I see that I got 1,000 videos or 1,000 views on that guide, which is awesome. I haven't ever had a video over 1,000 views, so thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure, and I can't wait to do more for you. We'll see you next time.